Okay, I'd like to just welcome you all to this very special NACSSA meeting, the 10th anniversary of the National Association of Stewardship and Conservancies of South Africa. We trust you enjoyed your day yesterday, and we look forward to engaging with everybody, and we look forward to an exciting group of lectures. So there's a few more people, no problem. As you will see, the time constraints of the program is quite tight, so we are going to go through the program fairly quickly. The presentations, there will be time afterwards at tea time and lunchtime to discuss any item with people. So we unfortunately going to restrict any question times and possibly no question time after each presentation. But please make notes, and then afterwards we have to vacate this area, this room by 3:30. Pushing it to 4 o'clock maximum. After that, there'll be time we can gather outside and you can actually ask us those questions. And or anyway, if you want to share any ideas, let's do it, because this was all about NACSSA's one big fellowship, and let's learn from each other of how to improve conservancies and how to put conservancies out there in the bigger picture of South Africa's conservation. Just kicking off where we sit today, conservation-wise, 618 rhinos slaughtered so far this year. Shocking statistics. It's virtually reached last year's total figure. So that is the background. Let's get on to the more pleasant things of NACSSA. Conservancies, 10 years on. In case you've forgotten what we're about, a voluntary cooperative environmental management of an area by its community and users. That's all of you. NACSSA was established in August 2003. Many of those faces are here today that were part of that original group that started everything off many years ago. Today we have 6 associations in the various provinces, covering up to 3 million hectares of areas of protected. In provinces where we have these associations, Gauteng, Northwest, Free State, although it's not an association, Duart Higu is there on the Parkford, Malcolm and Trafford in KZN, Eastern Cape, Elizabeth-Rodenbach, and Andrew Plessis in the Western Cape. Pauline is still struggling in Limpopo, but we are trying to get something built there, and what we'll mention later, Mpumalanga is still our target to try and rebuild a strong association there as well. This is the type of illustration we'd like to see in time to come, that we can have these type of maps for all the regions. This is the Free State a number of years back, and immediately you can see the extent of the work that conservancies are doing. Where it all started, Conservancy started in Balgowan, 1978, quite a few years ago, and I think they've grown from strength to strength. My personal start with Conservancies was in the early 80s. We were part of the original Eastern Free State Coronabach Conservancy, where these were outings that we did there in the early, about 85. And that was one of the real first conservancies in the Free State that really got going. But unfortunately today, while researching this, it was a 7,000 hectare conservancy, and I don't see it on Duart's list. So unfortunately, it looks like, although it was a conservancy and it did all this amazing work, it's fallen by the wayside. And in those same years, this was one of the first vulture restaurants as well. In late 70s, early 80s, this was one of the first Free State vulture restaurants, apart from Zastron, and actually the forerunners of vulture restaurants in this country. Many years ago, I was involved with, in 1994, we were the first urban conservancy in the Free State, registered in June 1994. But once again, it's about management, and a lot of the conservancies today that started in those early years have fallen by the wayside. And that's why it's key to have a very strong committee with people to follow on. That's Higu. I won't tell you the rest of it. Conservancies today, as you drive around the country, you see the very familiar signs. But do people know what it means? You drive in the Free State, you drive in the Northwest, you drive in Gauteng, and you see our signs everywhere. You even find that provinces are tending to swipe our signs now and putting them up in all funny places. All types of conservancies are out there. We need to brand it. We need to tell people what we're about. Conservancies, through the years, have become involved with very important aspects of conservation. Conservancies have formed the backbone of a number of biosphere reserves in the country. The Waterberg conservancies were the starting point for the Waterberg biosphere. Mariko, the conservancies, recently registered conservancies, form the backbone of a future biosphere there. And then closer to us in the Holliesburg, all these stripes here, all the yellow areas, those are conservancies, and they form the buffer zone for the hopefully soon to be registered Holliesburg biosphere. Just showing the importance and the role that we have to play. Milestones in the last 10 years, becoming a member of IUCN, gives us that position that we can use. We can meet on that level in IUCN meetings with fellow conservation-minded people, and where ICON attend, Trafford, and Anne recently attended the Cape, attended the meetings, which gives us an ideal opportunity to put messages out there. It's very important from your side as well. If you want something fed through, to let us know you like this, to take it to a higher level. And we've taken a lot of things through to IUCN, especially a lot of problems happening around our borders. Sorry, there's two more coming in there. Sorry. And then more recently, we've got the Conservancy sign as a registered trademark, which is a great achievement as well. So people can't willy-nilly use that and call themselves a conservancy when they're not part of the organization. Over the years, we've had many awards. We've achieved a lot. From the beginning, all those years back, the various chairmen of the association, and we've shone in a lot of these organizations and these award evenings. Male Guardian Awards, Anthony and Helen, Ivan. This was one of the more important awards we won. Green the Future Award in 2007. We got the Kudu Award from St. Parks. G. Lindsay won an award. And so it carried on over the years. Ivan has received awards, and many members of conservancies have received some kind of recognition or other. And that goes out there and it puts us in the forefront in the media. What's very important as well are our publications, our booklets, our newsletters. One of the most well-known is Helen's Felt Talk. I see Helen and Mercia just coming. Welcome. Good to have you both here. Felt Talk goes out to a large number of people, and it's selling conservation and telling people what conservation is all about. You have our booklets, and you have our very important pamphlet, A World Worthy of Our Children, that we use at every occasion that we can. In the media, in recent times, probably one of the most widespread in recent times was in the Environment magazine, where we had a full 2-page spread telling people about conservancies and what we do. And then more recently, we had a 4-page article in the Country Life, which did a lot to promote what it's all about. And I had quite a number of comments from people about this article, and they've seen and they've read what amazing work conservancies are doing throughout the country. This is just one of the articles, and I'd like to thank all the conservancies and the associations that actually sent in articles and participated in actually creating this very interesting article on what we do. This was recently sent to me by our Wesson people in the Eastern Cape. And once again, Cape Sea Cleans Up This Act. Conservancies are involved trying to get the beaches and that area cleaned up. And so we carry on. And once again, to build that brand, we need to be out there. Tell people what you're doing. Don't keep it a secret. In recent times as well, we've been on a number of radio and TV stations. One of our biggest promoters of conservancies is Tim Neary. Recently, I've done a number of programs with him. I know Andrew has done a lot of talks with Tim as well regarding the various aspects of conservation. So once again, if you have the opportunity, get out there and tell people what we're about. We use every opportunity as well to get to festivals, shows. The Walkable show, Ivan has done very well there. Unfortunately, I have many pictures on to show it. But NACSSA GCA won the first award, top of the show, for the last show recently. And so we take part in the Burning Fair. We took part in Gardenex along with Wesson. And this is an ideal opportunity to showcase what we're about. Yebo Cheryl takes charge of that. And that's also, especially for the youth, to get involved and tell them about conservancies. These are the various stalls over the years at the Birds and Birding Fair held at Joburg Zoo. Some familiar faces. And then over the years I've also tried to get out there as chairman and visit the different regions. I went to Kimberley. They want to know about conservancies and what conservancies are doing. I went and told them all about it, and it was a great opportunity to share. Also, about 3 years ago, I did a trip around. I visited the Eastern Cape to actually go and meet the various people. And once again, very successful. And it's good to actually give them some encouragement, because often people can't get to our meetings. So we need to actually get out there and try and stimulate some interest also from NACSSA side amongst their members. And then also on that same trip, I actually went to the Western Cape, and just before Anne got involved, and I met with the then chairman, Laura. And also, once again, very, very interesting to see the different ways people look at the conservancies, especially the ways they fund it. The people in the winelands of the Cape obviously have got a lot more money than us people up here in Gauteng. Also, more recent times, I've visited the Waterberg Conservancy, the AGM. I had to go and chat to them. It was a great opportunity also to meet the people there and tell them about NACSSA and the conservancies. And then very quickly, looking at NACSSA gatherings the past 10 years. Where it all started, steering committee 2003. Once again, if you look around the room, there's some familiar faces still involved. And one of the founding members, Art Kruger, is here today as well. That face needs no reminders. That's Ivan, Malcolm, and Pierre Weinberg, unfortunately, is left Northwest. And hopefully one day he'll be back involved with conservancies. PRETORIUS 2004. Once again, number of familiar faces. NACSSA meeting in Pumalanga 2005. PRETORIUS 2005 as well. A lot of familiar faces, a lot thinner though, but still familiar. PRETORIUS 2006. Some of those faces still involved, and many here today as well. And so we carry on. Mount Jenny 2008. And the groups got bigger and bigger. And once again, your key role players are still there. And what's really important about NACSSA as well is these gatherings. It's not only the meetings, it's a fellowship as well, that we can discuss and share ideas and thoughts of how to go into the future. Ngeni Valley Howick 2009, great meetings, and we achieved a lot. And one key part of most of these meetings is also recognizing people for what they've done for the organization. Ngeni Valley, June 2009. Bruder Lodge PARYS 2009. And that's where we started working on a strategic plan with the help of Andrew. We did a lot of work, about over 2 meetings on getting our strategic plan up and running. And it'll be interesting that I like to look on Sunday, reflect back and see where we are, looking back at that strategic plan. Once again, looking at the faces, many of them still very active in Conservancy today. This is Ngeni Valley, down in KZN. It was August 2010. 2011, we all moved out to Magaliesburg. Once again, a very successful meeting. And what's very interesting as well is after meetings to go out there and share and have a look, especially the environment, to see actually where all the conservancies are actively busy in their regions. That meeting, we had a very good turnout as well. It was one of our record turnouts as far as membership goes. And then the more recent one, Friedsburg, 2012. Also a great meeting, a lot of interest. We managed to entice Duart Yichu to come and join us. As I mentioned earlier, Duart was one of the people that we worked with, I personally worked with since the 80s on conservancies. And luckily today he's still active in the Free State. And hopefully Pierre Weinberg will be assisting him in the future as well. Richard Lewis was our key speaker at that meeting, and Richard will be joining us tonight as well. Richard has agreed to become a patron of NACSSA. Well-known faces. And so the fun and fellowship continues. And what we're all about is building a world worthy of our children. And it's all about fellowship and fun. And let's keep it that way. And then lastly, but not least, a lot of this wouldn't have been possible without funding from a special person, Cobus du Plessis, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but Mersha is representing him. Cobus has been our key funder of our secretarial position for many years, and with that position, with that person full-time in the office, has allowed us to do a lot of the work that we wouldn't have been able to do anyway. So, Mersha, our thanks to Cobus, and we will thank again tonight. Cobus has also agreed to become a patron of NACSSA. The future of conservation is in our hands. Together we can make a difference. We look forward to the next 10 years of NACSSA, creating a world worthy of our children. Thank you.